What's up everyone, my name is Alpha and today we're back with a very special Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Radical Red just like always. And today's challenge, we cannot beat Pokemon Radical Red using only the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It's an interesting challenge by you guys in the comments. Thank you so much for leaving it in the comments. And a lot of you guys been asking me to do this. So I think it's time that I end up doing it. I had to route it first and it was pretty difficult to route it. I was like, man, this does not look possible, but I gave it a try and this is gonna be my entire attempt of trying it. So the premise of this and the rules of this challenge will be I'm only allowed 4 Pokemon, 4 different horse Pokemon in the entire game of Radical Red. So Radical Red is one of the hardest Romhacks in the world, and now I only have 4 Pokemon and they must be horse Pokemon. There's not that many horse Pokemon to use, so it's gonna be a very interesting challenge. We're gonna run it through, and as well the final and most important rule of each of my challenge video, each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. So thanks so much for leaving a comment in the previous challenge video. Here are the 4 nicknames we're using out for this challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after a future Pokemon in my future challenge video, just drop it in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you use it down there, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for some more amazing challenge videos just like this one. Let's get into the challenge video itself. So to start off with, we're not going to have a horse type starter Pokemon, but pretty close. In Route 2 in the nighttime, you can find yourselves a Galarian Ponyta, which I completely forgot was a Pokemon to begin with. It's going to be our first horse type Pokemon, even though it's a pony, but it's the same thing, it's a horse. And in the daytime, you're able to find the normal Cantonian Ponyta, which also I'm going to search out for a better egg move. So if you use the Dex Nav in this game, you're able to find Pokemon with egg moves, with hidden abilities, all that sorts of things. We're actually going to search out for a Ponyta, not with a hidden ability, but actually with high horsepower, which is going to be an egg move and very fitting for this challenge video. It's also a ground type move, so it's going to be very useful in the first gym. And from there, I decided I want to actually get a new Galarian Ponyta because this one doesn't come with any sorts of egg move. We actually searched out for a brand new Galarian Ponyta with Hypnosis as an egg move, which is going to be on this Pokemon for the rest of the game because it's such a useful utility move that we just need to use it. It's actually saved us so many times, but once we capture those 2 Pokemon, we can technically get a third one by getting Mudbray from the egg vendors over here, but it is basically 1 in like 600 chance of getting a Mudbray from the eggs, and we tried it for a good like 30 minutes. It was not working out, so I decided to move on, and if I became that desperate, I will just sit there and get a Mudbray from the egg vendor. Before we actually move on though, we actually got a Blitzo, and I searched it up. Blitzo is a zebra. They technically are pretty similar to horses, but I'm not gonna count it towards the horse challenge. It's not a zebra challenge, it's a horse challenge, so we can't use Blitzo or Zebstrika, which would have really helped us. But anyways, from there we're gonna face off against Faulkner next. Faulkner's the first mini boss of the game, and we actually got through him pretty easily. I was not scared of Faulkner at all, mainly so that I know my Pokemon are not weak to flying moves at all. We could pretty much stall him down using Will-O-Wisp and then knock him down with my Galarian Ponyta and also my normal Ponyta. They're pretty decent Pokemon for the start of the game. However, they're both fire type Pokemon, so I was very worried going up against the first gym of the game, but we actually managed to pull through. As we start the battle off against the first gym leader, Brock, using my Galarian Ponyta to actually Hypnosis into the Geodude, makes him fall asleep. He actually is going to force himself out into his Vulpix, which I do a nice chunky amount of damage to. I switch out to my normal Ponyta and I go for a Will-O-Wisp against the Vulpix, assuming he's going to protect me using my ground type move. He goes out to his Arcan and he gets burned, and that Arcan is basically done for the game. So we're pretty much handling him as we actually go back out into my Galarian Ponyta to Will-O-Wisp into the Onix as well. Go back into my regular Ponyta and high horsepower to knock out the Vulpix as he's trying to like switch around. It's really not working out for him as he's going to just take a high horsepower, knock him out pretty nicely. I need to save this Ponyta for sure, so I go out into my Galarian one and I will knock him out using Covet. His next Pokemon will be an Onix. I just want to sack my Galarian Ponyta, switch it out into my high horsepowering one, knock out the Onix, and also knock out the sleeping Geodude to secure the first gym badge of the game. 2 fire types end up beating Brock, the rock type gym leader, which is amazing for us because now we have access to Mount Moon, and Mount Moon we're able to catch ourselves a Mudbray out in the wild, which is super easy for us. And surprisingly enough, we got through this mini boss in Cerulean Cave with just these 3 Pokemon. These 3 Pokemon have some kind of synergy. They're very weak to water. We're able to get through this mini boss, but the next gym leader that we gotta face off against is going to be the water type gym leader, which is gonna be very difficult. As you can see, I am restarting 10 million times. It took me hours to find out what could work. I am able to start out with my mud break to bait in a grass knot, and I'm able to outspeed the frogadier most of the time to hypnosis him. If I get a lucky roll, I'm able to knock out the frogadier without taking too much damage, and from there I should get enough speed from flame charging into the frogadier to be able to outspeed a floatzel and hypnosis him down. And if I'm able to stomp him a few times, he'll get flinch. This is also me giving up and getting the Eviolite from Whitney first, and then coming back and facing off against Misty once again. We're able to just get very lucky. We're stomping down the floatzel, and once we beat the float, we also have to be very lucky against the Starmie and also put it to sleep, flinch him, and just not die by him. We got the god run of all god runs. Once we face off against the Starmie, we're able to put it to sleep, survive a scald, put it to sleep once again, stomp him in his face, covet the lantern as he switches out, and that basically secures us the win. As we still have 2 Pokemon in the back, we're able to bulldoze into the lantern to knock him out. And then Misty's final Pokemon is the Starmie that's asleep. We're able to knock him out with a bulldoze, and we secure the second gym badge of the game. Yes, we have to restart 10,000 times. 3 of my Pokemon are extremely weak to water types, so obviously we had to restart as much as we can. And from there though, we're gonna face off against the SS and in the entire ship. This battle took a lot of time for some reason. We just had to just go back and get the move tutor and teach my Rapidash, my Cantonian Rapidash Wild Charge to get through this fight. Lucky enough, we do get through this fight and face off against Lieutenant Surge. Next, Lieutenant Surge is going to be the electric type gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my plain old Rapidash to switch out into my Mudsdale for some reason. I'm not too sure why I can't just start with my Mudsdale, but we're able to bulldoze into the Pincurchin to knock him out. Go out into my regular Rapidash once again to just flame charge into the Vigavolt. For some reason, he goes out to his Raichu and then sack his Vigavolt, allowing me to get +2 speed, knock out his Raichu as well, and then do some chip damage against the Manectric, and then allow me to go out into my Galarian Rapidash to knock him out. And I'm able to Fire Lash into the Bolton and Flame Charge to knock him out, and then Hypnosis into the Manectric. I'm landing all the great Hypnosis, and I'm able to Fire Lash to knock him out. If my Rapidash goes down, I still had a Mudsdale in the back, so the battle was pretty much secure. From there though, we're going to go into the Rock Tunnel and clear through it pretty easily with my Rapidash. If you guys seen my 3.0 hardcore run, you know I love my Rapidash. But from there, I'm going to face off against the next gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against the 4th gym leader. We're going to face off against Erica. She can start the battle off against us using a Rillaboom, which it gets demolished by our Rapidash. I'm just saying, we are easily able to beat her in our first try, as I'm able to beat down her Electrode, force her out to the Rillaboom once again, knock him out. She then goes out to her Venusaur, which I do a chunky mount to, even though it's going to Earth Power me as I go out into my Galarian Rapidash to Hypnosis it, Fire Lash into 2 Flame Charges to knock him out, and then I'm able to Fire Lash down the Meganium and also Fire Lash down the Superior as it's not able to knock me out. We're able to beat down Erica in one try, and then from there, we're able to face off against Giovanni next. Giovanni's such a pushover. We're also going to beat down a rival in Silphco, and also Ariana and Archer. And once again, we beat down Giovanni, but this time, there's actually something for us at the end. As we beat down Giovanni, we're also going to pick up the Master Ball, which is going to be very useful to get the final horse member of our team. Yeah, there's still supposed to be 4 on our team, but it's very far away. From there, we're going to face off against Sabrina next. Sabrina is going to be a double battle fight in this game, and since we only got 3 Pokemon, we got to use them very safely. So we're going to start the battle off against Sabrina using my Mudsdale and also my Rapidash. Heavy Slam to knock out the Hatterene from my Mudsdale, and also a Mega Horn will knock out the Indeedee from my Rapidash. From there, she's going to send out her Crawdon and her Porygon 2. A bad play by her because I'm a Rock Slide, and I'm also getting Mega Horn into the Crawdon. And we're going to flinch down the Porygon 2 and knock out the Crawdon, even though he had a Focus Sash. Tough for him. From there, we also flinch down the Porygon once again, which is kind of funny, as the Ursaluna just goes for a Protect. I'm able to just focus down the Porygon 2, as unfortunately he sets up a Trick Room, so I have to go out into my Galarian Rapidash. Luckily enough, I am able to knock out the Gardevoir in one shot. But there goes my Rapidash basically, because the Ursaluna is going to one-shot me for sure. So I need to do enough damage to the Porygon 2. Luckily enough, I am able to knock him out with a Heavy Slam. And luckily enough, the Trick Room actually runs out at the perfect timing, letting me outspeed the Ursaluna because the speed returns to normal. Earthquake would knock him out, and we end up beating the Ursaluna. And my Mudsdale didn't take a single point of damage. I didn't realize that till now, but that's actually kind of cool. From there though, we're gonna face off against the cycling road, and this was a bad mistake. I am never going back to the cycling road. I'm just gonna go through the scenic route, because by the end of this there is a double battle fight with Milotic and a Pikachu. I couldn't get past that, so I went through the scenic route and we head into Fuchsia City, where we're gonna face off against Koga next. Koga is going to be the 6th gym leader in the game, and we're gonna start the battle off against him using my Mudsdale to rock slide into the Swellow to knock him out. Essentially, I'm trying to bait in his Greninja. Once I am able to bait in the Greninja, I'm gonna outspeed him using my Rapidash, because Rapidash has a flame charge boost on him. He's gonna be forced to use Water Shuriken as I'm able to Mega Horn to knock out the Greninja, bait in the Drapion next, let my Rapidash goes down, and then send in my Galarian Rapidash to go for a Hypnosis off against the Drapion, take a Wicked Blow, and then get 3 Swords Dances up right in front of the Drapion. I'm gonna take a Wicked Blow, that's fine. Low on HP, he does not have a priority user, and he also doesn't have a Focus Sasher anymore, so we're able to knock down the Toxicity, which is super easy, knock down the Selgor, and knock down his Dragapult, and just completely destroy Koga super easily. From there, we're going to face off against Price next. We get the Choice Scarf from Price, which is super useful down the line. It's actually going to be very useful, actually. It's probably the most important item we got. We're also going to beat down Jasmine to get the Choice Spin, which I don't remember using at all, so what a waste of time. From there, we're going to face off against Blaine next. Blaine is going to be the Fire-type gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Galarian Rapidash to Hypnosis into the Torkoal. This egg move is getting so much mileage, but I'm able to Swords Dance twice in front of the Torkoal. I don't want to risk it. I'm going for a Wild Charge. He does wake up. He sets up a Stealth Rocks, which is kind of annoying, but I am able to Wild Charge to knock him out. He then sends out a Cinderace, which bad play by going for a Flame Charge, but he misses his Pyro Ball, and I'm able to Flame Charge him once again to knock him out. He then goes out to a Sunflora, which gets beat down, and then his next Pokemon will be a Typhlosion. I break his Soul Blaze, which is nice. I break his ability, so he is panicking now. He goes out to his Exeggutor. I'm able to knock him out with Flame Charge and also knock him out with a Wild Charge. Knock myself out with the Wild Charge as well, but I can go out to my Mudsdale to actually 1v1 the Charizard, knock him out, and get the 7th gym badge of the game that easily. You guys might think that battle was super easy. That battle was nothing compared to this Ariana and Archer fight, which are back-to-back fights, and we completely destroy Archer with just my Rapidash right here. As you can see, just clearly outplayed at every single moment. Though I switched out. Yeah, I had to switch out for a little bit, but I pretty much destroyed Archer with just my regular Rapidash, and then against Ariana, I just use Mudsdale and Slack Off and Stamina, and it's just completely broken. Nothing she could do about it, as I'm able to just weaken down the Rhyperior low enough where I can Earthquake it without activating its weakness policy. They're basically dead. So we actually beat down Arya and Archer in such an easy way that we didn't use our Galarian Rapidash until we face off against Giovanni, where my Galarian Rapidash actually destroyed Giovanni's entire team. Swords Dance up with Flame Charge and Play Rough just destroys his entire team. And from there though, once we actually beat him, we have access to the 8th gym now, and we're very close to getting that final Horseman. I'm just waiting for it at this point. I know I could beat Claire. We're going to face off against the 8th gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Claire next. We're going to start the battle off against Claire using my Mudsdale to close combat. By lowering my special defense, this will actually bait in the Magearna in the back. So once we beat down the Aerodactyl, the Magearna comes out. I go straight out into my Galarian Rapidash to Swords Dance up in front of him. One Swords Dance and then Flame Charge as he wakes up. Catch the Naganadel in a Hypnosis and then set up another Swords Dance, and then a Play Rough following that would knock him out. And also a Play Rough once again against the Dragonite would knock him out. And then I'm able to Hypnosis into the Magearna. Really risky play here. And I'm going for a Swords Dance. I'm going for Game at this point. And the Magearna still stays asleep as I'm able to Flame Charge, knock him out, and also knock out the Duraludon with a +6 Play Rough. And her final Pokemon will be a Dragovich that also gets knocked down. I don't think I missed a single Play Rough in this game, which is pretty impressive. I don't think I missed a single one. But from there, once we actually beat down the 8th gym leader, we have access to 5-star max raids around the entire game. We could go back into the Cinnabar Island Pokemon Mansion, and in this den, we're not going to get the Regidrago. We're going to get ourselves a Spectrier, which is going to be our 4th and final horse Pokemon in the game. And a very impressive Pokemon. It's going to be a legendary, but you know what? I played through the entire game basically with only 3 Pokemon. It's not really a 4 Horsemen challenge at this point. It's really how much can Rapidash and Mudsdale do in the entire game of Radical Red. So I'm going to give myself some leeway, use a legendary for once, and actually beat down the Spectrier, catch it in a Master Ball. That's what we use it for. And we have our final team member of the game. Now, if you guys are questioning how strong Spectre is compared to my Rapidashes, here's me just messing around and facing off against my rival, and we lost all our Pokemon, and the last Pokemon is going to be a Spectre with a Choice Scarf, and it actually ends up clutching it up against 4 different Pokemon just because it has a boost of every time it knocks out a Pokemon, it gets a special attack boost. So that's how amazing it is. It just destroyed every single Pokemon in its way. Even though Spectre is almighty and all powerful, I do struggle a little bit against Victory Road. As you see, we still need to be very cautious by using Spectre because the only move it really has is Shadow Ball, unless I want to use Mud Shot. So I'm very limited on the moves it can really use. But from there, we're going to clear through Victory Road and face off against the Elite Four next. And of course, Lorelei has the Water Team, which is going to be super effective against 3 of my 4 Pokemon. So we have to try to find a way around this. Now, you can actually really see the times that I'm really prepared. That's how long I've been playing against the AI, just by the fact that I've been restarting so many times. But I restart a lot of times against Lorelei. I'm gonna start the battle off against Lorelei using my Rapidash and my Spectre. Rapidash is gonna set up Sunny Day to get rid of the rain completely from the Politoed, and then I'm gonna confuse Ray into Poliwrath to force him to hit himself and break his own Focus Sash. That will allow me to Solar Blade it into the Politoed and also Nasty Plot in front of them. We take no damage at all basically, and from there in the following turn, she then sends out her Swampert, which I'm able to Solar Blade once again to knock out the Swampert, and Shadow Ball to knock out the Poliwrath, a double KO. And she's gonna throw the battle by sending out her Kingdra and her Dracovish, which I'm gonna focus on the Kingdra because they have Swift Swim. I don't want her to come out with the Kyogre and activate her ability, so I'm gonna knock out the Kingdra, then go out into my Choice Scarf Rapidash. I'm going to Hypnosis, Choice Scarf Hypnosis the Kyogre, and sack him against the Dracovish, and also knock him out using my Spectre. And her final Pokemon is going to be the Kyogre that's sleeping, so I send out my Mudsdale. Spectre and Mudsdale will knock out the Kyogre as we're finally able to beat down Lorelei, and we're going to face off against the next Elite Four member, which is actually such an easy one. This is one of the attempts that I'm just messing around with. I start the battle off against him using my Rapidash just to completely just play poorly. I go for a Flame Charge, play rough, and then Flame Charge again, so I got +2 speed. I got a very lucky crit against their Shifu, and then against the Conqueror, I am able to just survive against him super easily. Play rough twice to knock him out, and then he sends out his Zacian. I go for Hypnosis, I missed it. He goes for a Sword Dance, I Hypnosis him, and then Hypnosis once again by misclicking. So I use Hypnosis 3 times in a row. I Flame Charge into the Zacian, and he'll knock me out using close combat, but I'm able to outspeed him. Shadow Ball will knock him out, and then the game's basically over. Somehow I'm able to Shadow Ball the Como. That's gonna have bulletproof, but I'm able to knock him out with a Shadow Ball, and also knock down Lucario with a Shadow Ball, and we just clear through Bruno. From there though, we're gonna face off against Agatha, and Agatha actually took the longest soft reset against. We're gonna start the battle off against Agatha using my Rapidash. Rapidash is going to play rough and knock out the Grimmsnarl. It's gonna force out the Gengar, which I'm gonna go out to my Mudsdale. Mudsdale is gonna get sacked here. Essentially just taking down the Gengar, and then getting sacked by the Spectre, which gives us a boost, which you might think it's a throw, but I go out into my Rapidash to get some chip damage against it. It catches the Dragapult, which I assume is going to happen. She then goes out for a Phantom Force, which I gotta go for a Flame Charge to outspeed. Unfortunately, she's gonna knock itself out, and from here I'm able to survive a move against the Spectre. I go for Hypnosis, I am able to put him to sleep, get 2 Flame Charges up against him, and then play rough to knock him out, which is amazing. It actually worked out like that. And then Marshadow will come out next. Marshadow is obviously going to knock out this Rapidash, so I want to go out into my Cantonian Rapidash, Flame Charge in front of him just to break his Focus Sash, and then go out to my Spectre, which won't outspeed him, but I do have a Focus Sash on him. Take a Spectral Thief and then Shadow Ball to knock out the Marshadow. Hydro Gun, do some chip damage against him, and then sack my Spectre and go out to my Rapidash to outspeed him and play rough to knock him out, which I've never missed a play rough apparently. I am able to knock down Agatha, and we get to move on into the final Elite Four member of the game before the champion. We're going to face off against Lance next. Lance is going to be kind of the Dragon type, kind of difficult, not really. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Mudsdale to Rock Slide into him just to knock him out. Just a free KO. I'm also unfortunately going to sack my Mudsdale against the Dracovish because I don't have a switch in, because everyone's weak to water, of course. I go out into my Galarian Rapidash to Hypnosis down the Dracovish, which is going to be really nice. I'm able to Swords Dance twice in front of him, because the first time is going to force him out into his Melmetal, because he thinks I'm going to go for a Play Rough. I go for another Swords Dance, and then a Flare Blitz will actually one-shot the Melmetal, and also a Play Rough will knock out the Dragonite through Multiscale, and a play rough almost knocks out the Dialga. Unfortunately, it does not. And then from there, I could switch out into my Spectre to Shadow Ball, knock out the Dialga, and also knock out the Dracovish. And then his final Pokemon will be the Salamence. I go for a Shadow Ball. Unfortunately, he lives with 1 HP, but he's going to Double Edge and knock himself out as we beat down Lance with our remaining Rapidash in the back. From there, we're going to face off against the champion of the game. We're going to face off against our rival Gary. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Cantonian Rapidash to just Flame Charge into the Pheromosa. Now I'm actually faster than the Pheromosa, so I'm able to Flame Charge once again to knock him out. He then goes out to his Groudon, which goes for a Roar against me as I high horsepower him, do a nice chunk of damage against him, and then Hypnosis into the Groudon. Go back out into my Rapidash. I dodge a Thunder Wave against him, and I'm able to high horsepower to knock him down to low HP. Shout out my Spectre to Shadow Ball and to knock him out, get a stat boost up. He's gonna send out his Yveltal, which is the biggest bait I've ever seen. I go out into my Fairy Flyer type, which is gonna be my Galarian Rapidash. I'm able to Hypnosis down to Yveltal. I go for a Sword Dance. He's going for a Sucker Punch. It's not working out for him. This is a bad look for him. I go for a Flame Charge, and now he's stuck using Sucker Punch. And I get a bunch of free boosts up against him. I go for Hypnosis. I landed again. I keep landing the Hypnosis. I'll take that. And Flame Charge will knock out the Yveltal as I'm +6 now. I also just gotta land this Play Rough, and I do against the Eternatus to knock him out in one shot. Now at this point, this is a big throw by me because I want to avoid the Ditto from reverse sweeping me. So I switch out to my Mudsdale trying to Earthquake. Then I get too much boost up against him, and I realized that maybe he actually could 1v1 my entire team using Mudsdale. So I decided to go out into my Spectre next, but then I realized midway through, I was like, well, I just kind of messed it up. Hopefully I outspeed the Ditto, and luckily enough, I do outspeed the Ditto, and we end up beating our rival, the champion of the game, and we beat the challenge of the game. Somehow we end up beating the Can We Beat Pokemon Radical Red using the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, Spectre, both the Rapidashes, and also Mudsdale. Somehow, someway, we found a way to beat the entire game. And I want to say this was actually a very fun challenge for me. I really wanted this to work out, and actually did work out to probably the best degree possible. So I want to say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. It was really fun to make. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more insane challenges like this. This is really fun. Leave some more challenge ideas down below. And yeah, my name's been Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day, and I'm out. Peace.